Hello everyone. So in this session, I want us to perform an update for the user account and also the delete. So by doing that, we'll need to ensure that the user can only update their own account and also they can delete their own account. So I'll do that in the user.py. So I'll go ahead and create an update here. Update user. So for the update of the user, I'll just use the same way here. So I'll just copy all of this. I'll just paste it here. So I'll use the users. I will use patch method, and then here will be update user. Update user. So remember, you are not getting a user ID here. You are not getting the user ID there. So of course, because we already when you are logged in, you will automatically get the current user ID. So so I'll import get JWT identity. So I'll say from Flask JWT extended import JWT required and also get JWT identity. So I need these two, JWT required and then get the JWT identity. So I'll copy this and then I'll go ahead and add here at get JWT identity, very important. And then inside here, we first need to get the current user ID. So I'll say it equals to get JWT identity, which is a function. So after doing this, remember when you're performing an update, you need to first get to you need to check if the user exists, right? Of which at some point, it might be there or not. Okay. But there's of course there's a probability that the user exists, but it is still good to confirm if the user exists. So I'll say user is equals to user.query.get, and then I'll say current user ID. So I'll now come below it, I'll come and say if user exists. Now let's now get the data. All right. So I'll get the data from the user from the front end. So the username. So I'll not be using this method because this one will force the user to have the username. So what I will do, I will first I will use, what do you call it? I'll use the data.get. So this one will enable us to get the username if it exists. If it doesn't exist, if the user did not pass the username, we use the existing, right, which is user dot username that we did fetch from this part. I'll say user dot username. So I'll copy this, replicate in all this. So I'll paste, replicate again. So I think you'll have username. So for the rest, username, email, and then we have this one, password. So I'll also remove this one. I'll just copy the generate password hash, remove all of this. I'll paste here, that way, generate password hash. Okay, so it will ensure that if the user did pass a username, it goes ahead and uses the username which you already have. So after doing this, we now need to check if the username or email exists. All right, but now again, while you are checking if the username exists, you need to be careful because remember, let's say you are trying to update your username using the username that you already have. So you need to ensure that you are not blocked from updating your username using your own existing username. All right. I'll come and say check username. Let me just replicate this. Where is it? I'll just replicate all of this. Okay, and then I will edit. So of course I'll say check username now, but now we are filtering by if username is equals to username and ID is not equal to the current user ID, user underscore ID. Right, so I'll replicate the same. So if a username exists but it does not belong to you, you now give the error message. Otherwise, now else you can go ahead now and perform the update. So I'll say user dot username is equals to username, which we got from the user, and then I'll replicate the same. Three of them. User dot username, user dot email, user dot password. Right, so after adding all this, you can now commit db.session .commit db.session.commit, and then what else? Now you return a success message. So I'll say, I'll just go to maybe or let me just type it. I'll say return JSONify. Let me just copy the success. JSONify success user profile updated. Let me just say profile updated, and then I'll pass 200 for success. So I'll change this one to be not to be 200, should be 201 for, because it is created. Even this one, by the way, for the register user should be 1 for created. So I think this one is ready. Now I also need to add else for this to ensure that the user, in case the user does not exist, I'll come just below here. I'll say else. It should align with the if, and then I'll just copy the same, and then error, and then I'll pass this one to be 44 not found. So I'll say user doesn't exist. I'll say user doesn't exist. So I think we are good to go. You can now go ahead and try to update the user. So it will be /users, /users, and then method dispatch. I'll go to my Postman. I will replicate the add user, duplicate, and then rename it. I'll say update user, or update, yes, I just say update user. It will be /users, of course, and then here will be patch, and then for the body I'll go to my row and then JSON. I can update all of them at the same time for now. So and then we also need to pass the token, but of course I can see I have an error already. Where is it? Okay, that is it happened in my JWT required. You need to pass the brackets, very important, and then let's try again to update. Send it. Yes, you can see we did not pass the authentication token. So I'll go to my login, send it again, login again, and then I'll take this current token, the latest token, and then I'll go to update user, and then authorization, bearer token. I paste the token, save it, send it, and then we can see user underscore ID is not defined. Again, user.py, user underscore ID. Oh, it should not be user underscore ID, it should be user.id. Sorry for that. User.id, which is this user, and then .id. So it should be that way. And then again, let me now update user. So user updated successfully. So let me try to change something. For example, username to be Kelvin Koech. Send it again. You can check it from your database. That is user. You can see Kelvin Koech, and then again you can only update one field. It can be username alone. It will allow you to do that. So I can see I have an error. Oh, it should be because of comma. Right, so it should allow you to update any individual field, like your email, you can email, username, or even password individually. So that's the purpose of these lines. Yes, if we have username, you if you don't have username, you can use the username that already exists. So that is very important. So that was about update. Now let's go to delete. So delete is almost exactly as this one. The only difference is that we don't have any data. So I'll say update user will be, I'll just call it delete user. So this one is the user deleting their own account. Here should be delete, and then should be users. That one's okay. Delete user. That one should be user. JWT required is very important, and then you can get the user. If the user exists, go ahead and delete. So I'll say db dot session dot delete, and then that is user, which is this user, and then you can now commit. I'll say db dot session dot commit, right, and then that is saved, and then I can copy this one for delete and edit for delete. I'll say success, your account is deleted. I'll pass this one as 200, status 200, and then else user does not exist. The user you are trying to delete an account does not exist. That's okay. Then we are good to go. So that's for the delete. Let me go again and test. That was for update user. Let me just create a new one. User add request. I'll just rename the request. Meanwhile, rename delete user. Oh, I did not rename. Just remove to be delete user, and then I'll pass the URL, of course. I'll say users, and then should be delete. I don't need anybody. I need authorization token, so bearer token, and I'll go to the login. I'll copy the token here, and then delete user, and then I'll go to authorization bearer token. Paste, save, and then I can try. Now, if I send it, you can see your account is deleted. It should be deleted. Your account is deleted. So now remember, if you try again to delete, the user no longer exists. So you can see, user does not exist because you've deleted the user. So you can see. So I can just try to add a new user using the same details. All right, and then we are good to go. Okay, now so that's all for this session. Let's meet in the next one.